Now, if it was up to kids, they probably wouldn't be eating too many vegetables, and I'm sure, Teresa, you will soon find that out. But these ladies here today, you have some tips on how to integrate vegetables into some of these
We're tricking
meals.
them, right?
Yes.
More or less?
Well, kind of.
It's very covert.
Yeah, no one really knows that this is all vegetables when they eat this. I mean, it has fiber in it too. It's got some oatmeal and stuff. But what I have in the pan here is we sauteed some onions and we added some mushrooms. This is 1.5 pounds of mixed mushrooms.
Okay.
We used portobellos. These are portobellos, and then we used criminies and we used white button mushrooms and just ground them up in the processor or chopped them up really fine. And you have to saute them enough so they sweat and get rid of the water. Otherwise, the mixture is so wet you can't form it into a patty.
Okay.
So once this is cooled slightly, then you're going to add everything else. This is some Parmesan. Going to put this in, and then these are some shredded carrots.
Okay.
And it looks like an odd combination of things, but all in all, the ultimate taste is really pretty good. This is oatmeal.
See, I wouldn't have thought to put oatmeal in there.
Well, you have to bind it because of the water
your
from
veggies.
the mushrooms. This is a little bit of breadcrumbs and some oregano. We're going to mix this up, and then that's caciocavallo and eggs. This is not my recipe. I found this recipe online, and when I made it, I couldn't get it to stay into a patty. You can see Steph's
She did a great job there.
Steph's got the patties there, but it wouldn't do that. It wouldn't stay together like that. It looks more like a crumble. So I worked on the recipe to get it so that when you formed the patty, it would stay together. Now mixing this up. Now this has to be cold, or not cold, but cooler before you put the eggs in, because if the eggs cook too fast, if this is hot, it won't bind the
parsley?
Yeah, it won't bind the patty when it cooks, and then it just fall apart again.
Ryan's helping.
Nice, thanks.
Yeah, a little helping.
Ryan, did you know that Betty Ann was a chemist in her previous
You
life?
were?
That's why she knows all the secrets to proteins and binding
ready? Go ahead.
and putting
Go ahead.
everything in together.
All right, so it's time for a little chemistry class here.
Well, there's just a science behind
Yeah.
the food she makes.
So how is this food? I mean, obviously it's all vegetables, but you're still getting your proteins in here.
You're getting
and
your protein.
and some carbs and some.
Yep. Well, it's the cheese. When you have breadcrumbs, and we're having the panko and the breadcrumbs. When you have breadcrumbs and cheese mixed together, you build a perfect protein.
Okay.
So but there's also a lot of fiber in this because mushrooms have a lot of vitamins and a lot of fiber. Now, you see how this is coming together?
Yes.
Well, that didn't happen before. You see, I wasn't able
What
to make
did you
it.
have to add to
That's
make
from
it?
The cheese. The cheese is binding it, and then
Probably adds a little flavor to it also.
it does add some cheese.
Definitely.
Yes, it adds some flavor, but it also helps make it to stick together. So I'm just going to form this into a patty. Now Steph's got some in the pan there. She's going to saute them, and you just pat this and then put this into the panko. And this also helps it to keep together, and it also helps to get nice and golden brown.
Yeah, that's
So-
one of the hardest parts with veggie burgers is keeping them together because the mixture can be kind of loose. So the panko on the outside definitely helps, binding it from the inside and the outside.
See, some veggie burgers that are made with a soy base, they smell awful.
Yeah, these are delightful.
Yeah,
They smell great.
This smells wonderful, and they really are. The kids love these, which is
They're
the
getting their veggies. That
Yeah.
was the
Yep.
point,
Yeah.
right?
What are some other ways that kids can still get their veggies without really knowing? Being
well.
all
If
covert
you
about
roast them, roasting them gives them a little bit of sweetness, and that's a nice. I just want to tell you how we're going to serve these.
Yes.
We're going to put these on this is a whole wheat little sandwich. You can also put them in a pita pocket. That's easy for the kids to eat them in a pita pocket. We're going to put lettuce and tomato, again, more fiber. And then we're going to use this. This is chipotle mayo.
Ooh.
Now, this is chipotle pepper powder. Here, smell that.
Yes,
A chipotle pepper. People think chipotle peppers are a totally different pepper.
Oh, it's
but
like smoked almost.
it's a smoked, red, dried jalapeno. That's what a chipotle pepper is.
Okay.
Now, this is ground, the whole pepper. Sometimes if you have a jalapeno, it's relatively hot, but not fiery hot, because before you eat it, they take out the seeds.
The seeds are what makes it hot.
The seeds are what makes it. The seeds have about 75% of the heat in them. So
see.
this has the seeds and the veins and everything. So this gives a little bit of bite to the.
A little kick. Okay.
It's a little bit of a kick, but it's got a really nice flavor. So this is just mayonnaise and the sauce is just mayonnaise and a little bit of oil and the powder. And you can just mix it up as you need it. But it really gives it nice flavor. Now you see how these are browning nicely?
Yes.
Without the panko, that doesn't
You don't
happen.
get the brown.
You don't
okay.
get the brown.
Now,
Yeah.
how do you know when those are done, though?
Well, all you're really trying to do is cook the eggs. The mushrooms are cooked. Everything else is cooked. So, and the eggs set at about 150 degrees. So you can see this is way hotter than that. So it doesn't take that long to cook them.
Now, are there different recipes that you two ladies often make that are healthy for the kids and like what other types of ingredients besides the mushrooms and?
One of the things we did in class this week or last week was make minestrone soup, which is a bean-based soup, and a lot of our students were saying their kids don't really like beans. But one of the things you can do when you have soups like that is puree the beans throughout the process, so that kind of makes them all disappear. And that's
Oh,
how
makes
you
it
get-
creamy too,
It makes
right?
it creamy. Yeah, it makes
Right.
it thicker.
Now,
That's a good way to do it.
Now, as a kid, did she actually eat her vegetables?
Oh, she was
I
a,
did.
yeah, she
I
was
was
a
an
good
excellent
eater.
Oh, you're
She was a
good.
good eater.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a good eater.
I
Yeah.
don't know if I,
Yeah.
don't know if I really believe
My
that.
sister, on the other hand, was terrible, but
Should we
Terrible.
make one of these?
Yeah.
Should we make a finished product
Yep.
here?
So
Okay.
we're going to take this. I'm going to put a little bit of this on it.
Little tang there.
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah, it's just really, well, you should have a little bit of oil when you have your tomatoes because there's lycopene in tomatoes, and without oil, it doesn't really help your body. So you always want to have a little oil when you have tomatoes. And this is a piece of lettuce.
What a lunch this is going to
Okay,
be.
go ahead, swing one on
Ready?
there.
At least we don't have to eat pizza for lunch today. We can.
No, this is
We can eat
healthy.
here in the kitchen.
Now that's it. Now if you did the pita,
Can I take a bite of this?
yes, of course.
Looks wonderful. Right, you're going to
Yeah.
have to end the segment here. I'm not going to be able to
Well,
talk.
well,
This is great,
While you're
ladies.
eating,
Thank you.
coming up next.